You guys are not gonna die on me. We will have no animal deaths in this zoo. Hello everyone, Stormy Strike here. I am super excited because I'm about to play Planet Zoo for the first time. This is the beta release of the game, which is only out for 2 weeks, and then the full release of Planet Zoo comes out on November 5th. So this is not the entire game. In fact, this version of the game only has the first scenario in career mode and franchise mode. The rest of the scenarios and sandbox mode won't be out until the full release. We may also encounter bugs in the game as it is still being worked on. And I'm not sure if all the animals and objects we'll see are all of them available in the game, or if we're going to see more with the full release. Anything we save in the game also is very likely to not still be there when the full release is out in November, so we're not going to be worrying about building anything too special until the full release. And we're just going to focus on the gameplay and playing around with all the new things we have to work with. Last point before we hop into playing here is that I was beyond excited when the announcement for this game came out a few months ago, because I'm a huge Zoo Tycoon fan. I grew up playing Zoo Tycoon 1 and 2, and even the Nintendo DS version of it. I never played the Xbox version because I've never had an Xbox, and it was kind of a letdown of a game anyway. But I'm very excited to finally have a game that's a worthy successor to Zoo Tycoon 2. Without further ado, let's get in on the first available scenario of the career mode. Alright, so here on the scenario tab, it shows a whole bunch of other scenarios we're going to get to play at some point, but right now we have the first one, which is called Stately Homeschooling Goodwin House. Renovated and renamed after its purchase by Bernard Goodwin in the 1980s, Goodwin House has since become one of the most respected zoos in the country. More recently has undergone a further renovation to update many of the habitats and facilities, but due to various issues, the work hasn't quite become completed, which is where you come in. So we're gonna start new, and I like this little lion over here. How cool is that? Like a little lion statue.
Ah, heyo at Hematu. Yeah. Sorry about that. I have a habit of slipping back into the Planko language. It's good to finally meet you in person. I'm Bernard, although I insist you call me Bernie. The only person who calls me Bernard is my wife. And even then, only when I've tracked elephant dung into the carpets. As you know, I own several zoos, but I always like to show people the ropes here at my home. This is the first zoo I ever opened, and a source of great pride for me. And prides, thanks to a lion breeding program we ran in the 80s. But we're in the middle of a big renovation, and that's where you come in. Sadly, our old contractor had to retire after developing a fur allergy. Poor devil kept sneezing his dentures into the lion habitat. So, it's up to you to finish everything off. Don't worry, though. I'm not completely throwing you in at the deep end. My head keeper, Nancy Jones, will be lending a helping hand. Oh, she's a hard worker, and she'll expect you to be too. But I'm sure you'll get along like a house on fire, or even better, one that isn't on fire. Less shouting that way.
Hello there. From that rosy, fresh face of yours, I'm guessing you're Bernie's new hire. Good. Now, I hope you're ready to ditch your diploma because we're about to get really hands-on. But before we begin the real work, how about we familiarize you with the zoo by learning how to fly around it and visiting some of our beautiful animals? We'll start by popping over and having a look-see at the grizzly bears in their habitat.
Alright, so this is cool. I didn't talk during that part just because I was enjoying the little cinematic overview of the zoo. Even reminded me a little bit of Zoo Tycoon 2, like their intro with the different animal exhibits and stuff. It's just very cool. I'm very excited. So the beginning of this is going to be the tutorial section, which I should hopefully be fairly familiar with playing Planet Coaster and stuff.
Did you know that grizzly bears, also known as Ursus arctos horribilis, can hibernate for up to 7 months a year. Oh, but then again, given the chance, I think a lot of people would do that too. Select one of the bears and you'll bring up its information panel.
This is just so amazing. Oh my gosh. And this is a really cool little feature too. There's actually a flashlight, which is kind of neat. Oh, there's a terrain stamp tool. Oh, that's really awesome. That wasn't in Planet Coaster. So let's check out these bears. What's going on with the bears?
This is where you can find out all kinds of information about your animal. The most important thing being its overall welfare. You'll learn more about animal welfare today as we go through your objectives. But for now, let's enjoy this magnificent animal. Why don't you select the camera at the bottom of its information panel? See now, this is a fantastic way to get a close look at your animals. You can also get this view of an animal by simply double-clicking on it.
Oh, that is
Okay,
so
when you're
cool.
ready, let's pop over to the other side of the zoo and take a look at the lions. I've marked their location for you to find.
Alright, so here's the lion exhibit.
Panthera leo. All the West African lion to you and me. Lions are the most social of the big cats, and there can be as many as 40 lions in a pride. Although prides of that size are pretty rare.
Look at this little baby. He's so cute.
As Bernie would say, those lions are awesome.
Oh my
Which
gosh.
is precisely why I handle the training instead these days. Anyway, how about we get started on those objectives? Come on, let's head over to our warthog habitat and see what needs doing there.
Wow, these animals are just incredibly gorgeous. Oh my goodness, look how beautiful they look. Alright, where's the warthog exhibit? Over here. It's a little one.
As you can see, it's a lovely space for warthogs, but it's missing a certain something. Well, two somethings. The warthogs. So I'd like you to adopt a pair of them. To adopt animals, we need to open the animal market, which is in the animal trading section. There we are, a pair of perfectly splendid warthogs for our zoo. Just click on them and select Buy from the side menu. Normally the animal exchange would be full of animals, but I've emptied out the market while you learn how it works. The last thing I need is you accidentally ordering a dozen elephants.
Get our other warthog
When you
here.
adopt an animal, it's automatically placed in the trade centre, where they're held until you're ready to move them into their habitat, which, as it happens, you are. So how about you move them into their new home? When you ask for an animal to be moved into a habitat, your caretakers will go to the trade centre, collect your animal and deliver them to your selected habitat. I've marked the trade centre's location, so let's go and watch the caretakers in action.
Okay, the trade center's over here. This like
Well,
beginning
as
park
you
is
can
like
see,
so,
those
or zoo I
caretakers
mean, is
don't
already
hang
like really
about.
intricate.
They'll move
So
those
cool.
animals to their destination as fast as possible. Of course, normally we'd have to place the animals into quarantine before moving them into a habitat, but I am assured by a person of good standing that these warthogs are in the very rudest of health. Right, let's get the warthog's habitat finished up so we can keep them nice and happy. You see, each animal in the zoo has an overall welfare statistic, basically how happy they are. And that overall welfare statistic is itself comprised of 4 different areas: nutrition, social health, habitat, and enrichment. Luckily, if you select an animal, you'll bring up their animal welfare information panel, which we saw earlier, where you can see how they're doing. That way, you'll know exactly what areas need to be addressed. Don't worry if that's a lot to remember. You can always check the Zoopedia for more information. Let's start by making sure we're taking care of the warthog's nutrition welfare. To do this, we'll need to place a food station and a drinking station. Now, each animal requires a different type of feeding station, and for the warthogs, it's a small feeding trough. So let's add one of those and a water bowl.
Alright, so we're gonna give them some food. So here's the food trough and a water bowl.
Animals also require stimulation to keep them happy. Let's add a lovely mud bath for the warthogs to roll around in. That bath will count towards their enrichment welfare, specifically their toy enrichment welfare. Oh, nice work. You've got a knack for this, I see. Now, Our contractor had to leave in a hurry, so this place is in a pharaoh state. Unfinished thingamajigs and whatsits all over the shop. But the first thing we need to finish is the ostrich habitat. It's over near the hippos.
This warthog is already having a good time in the little mud bath thing here. So cute. Alright, where's the ostrich exhibit? Aha, over here.
Okay, job number 1 here is to add a habitat gate before we complete the barrier. Every habitat needs a habitat gate. After all, how else would the keepers get in and out? Just make sure it's hooked up to the path so the keepers can reach it. Right, let's complete the perimeter barrier so we can adopt us some ostriches. I've marked out an area for you to use, so I'd like you to finish off the perimeter using the brick barrier. Good work! Remember, before you can place animals in any habitat, it has to have a full loop of connected barrier. Now, you've probably noticed that guests can't actually see into this habitat at the moment. At least not without a stepladder. But seeing as they're banned, I'd like you to select a piece of barrier and swap out the brick for a glass barrier, so the guests can see in. There we go. Adding in more windows gives guests even more opportunities to see the animals in a habitat. It's always best to make sure the guests can get a good view into a habitat from the path they're walking on, because it makes them happy, and because this would be a pretty terrible zoo if they couldn't. The last thing we need to do is to add a donation box. You see, when guests enjoy the view of an animal, they'll make a donation.
I remember the donation boxes from Zoo Tycoon.
Donation boxes are one of the main sources of income for the zoo, so make sure you remember them.
Oh, these are interesting too. They got a little
you
spinny element on the
it's
donation
high time
boxes.
we adopted those ostriches, don't you think? Let's get 4 of them in here.
Lots of ostriches. And I like the fact too that it shows how old they are, exactly how old they are, and how they're doing, and they all have names. It's just so cool.
While we wait for them to be collected by the caretakers and brought to the habitat, you should get it ready for them. Add a suitable feeding station, water station, and an appropriate food enrichment item. It's often best to place things like enrichments and feeding stations near to the habitat perimeter, so guests can get a really good view of the animals.
I know my enclosure here needs a little bit of work, because I kind of wasn't realizing what I was doing with the controls. Oh, there we go. We finished the first part.
Good to see the ostriches have somewhere they can really stretch their legs. Did you know they can actually run at 43 miles per hour? Oh, heaven forbid they ever escape. The speed camera fines alone would bankrupt us.
Well, Bernie certainly seems impressed. Did you do his speed camera joke? Every time we get an ostrich. So, now we've made the ostriches' lives a bit better, let's do the same for the keepers, shall we? To make it easier for the keepers to feed the ostriches and hippos, we should build a new keeper hut. Keeper huts are where the keepers prepare the food for animals, so they should be placed near to the habitats to make sure the keepers don't waste their time walking when they should be looking after the animals.
Alright, we'll do the keeper's hut thing in a sec, but oh my gosh, look at this. There's like a little water toy for the ostriches, and there's even a little rainbow showing up from the water. That is so awesome, just a neat little detail. And also just this, look how amazing this looks. It looks so good. The graphics are beautiful.
This keeper hut only has space for 1 keeper, but the larger keeper hut can allow multiple keepers to prepare food at the same time. Oh, but bear in mind that keeper huts and other staff facilities shouldn't be placed near to areas where there are lots of guests. Guests don't like seeing facility buildings, and it can affect their happiness. Negatively. In case that wasn't clear. Something that all facilities, shops, and a whole host of other objects need is power, and that obviously includes your newly built keeper hut. So let's place a transformer next to it, shall we?
I'm just amazed about the detail. Oh my gosh, even the floor in this little building has stuff everywhere, which is just amazing.
Now, the reason everything has gone blue is because you're using the power heat map. This map allows you to see what is and what isn't powered in your zoo. So, once you've placed your transformer, you can click in the bottom left to turn the heat map off. Now the keepers can start using the hut to prepare food, and thanks to where you've put it, they won't need to walk very far to deliver it to the ostriches and hippos. Let's get on to your next objective then. Bengal tigers. We want to adopt some, but I'm afraid there's nothing ready for them yet. Head on over to the plot of land I've marked out. It's not too far away. Righty, your next job is to build a habitat. From scratch. And wood and concrete, I expect. So go ahead and build it. And don't forget the habitat gate. It's always best to place the habitat gate close to the keeper hut. As it happens, there's one quite near to the trade centre. Oh, and make sure the guests will be able to see the tigers.
Okay, so I'm figuring this out here, so you can... Oh my goodness, you can raise the walls super insane high. Whoa, I got my fence all out of whack here a little bit. It's fine. This zoo is not going to be perfect. Alright, we got some glass walls in here now. That should be fine.
Bernie takes safety very seriously at his zoos, so we should probably make sure those tigers can't jump out of their habitat, don't you think? The way we'll do it is by changing the height of the habitat's barrier. Now you've got all of the perimeter selected, you can increase the height of it by clicking and dragging the barrier height tool upwards. You'll want to make sure it reaches a minimum height of 4 meters. Okay, that's the habitat boundary complete, the habitat gate in place, and most importantly, the tigers won't be able to jump out of it anymore. I think it's time we adopted those tigers.
I do really like the mechanic that you're able to raise and lower the fences as high as you want, and you don't have to look for specific pieces at specific heights. That's super duper awesome, and it's just going to give so many fun possibilities for building exhibits.
Whilst our trusty caretakers collect and deliver the tigers, let's take a look at preparing the habitat for their arrival. We'll start with the basics. Add a suitable feeding station for them. This time, instead of adding a water bowl, let's try something different. Some animals need a pool in their habitat so they can go for a swim, but they can also use it to drink from. All you have to do is make sure the banks of the pool have a gentle slope so they can easily get a nice, refreshing drink. There's already a pool excavated, but you still need to fill it with water. You should do that by going into Terrain and selecting the water tool. Of course, just like the warthogs and ostriches, these tigers will also need some enrichment. Why don't you add some suitable toy and food enrichment items into their habitat?
They look so amazing! Their little tongues even come out to drink the water. Look at the reflection on the water too, holy cow! That looks so awesome! You see that? You see the reflection in the water? Oh, we got the blood pumpkin. Let's put the blood pumpkin in it. Great for Halloween. We'll put that over by this glass.
Okay, it's really starting to take shape. Now, the tigers will need a shelter in their habitat so they can hide from the guests, or more likely the bad weather. Although given that we're in England, you might want to think of that just as normal weather. Go on, add a shelter to their habitat. You can either build one from various suitable bits and bobs, or if you like, just pop down the blueprint that I've already built for you.
We're just gonna do a blueprint for now.
Oh, poor Dabs. I'm sure it can't have escaped your attention that the tigers look a bit miffed. That's because they aren't too keen on the type of terrain in their habitat. Select a tiger and bring up its information panel. Click on the Terrain tab. That way you can view the terrain information and see how they feel about the different types of terrain. That'll tell you what the tigers need more of or less of in this habitat. Open the Terrain Editing tool, select Painting, and give them some more soil. Yes, that should help with the habitat part of their welfare.
So I'll replace some of that long grass with short grass. Short grass?
Right then. All animals need plants and
There we
trees
go.
from their own biome or continent. You know, deserts, savannas, or Asia, Europe, that sort of thing. It looks like these tigers need a few more plants in their habitat.
Yay,
To get a
plant
perfect
time.
fit, use plants from the rainforest and temperate biomes that are native to Asia. Although if you have to, you can get away with using just one or the other. The tigers will also want a certain amount of their habitat to be covered by those plants. To find out which plants to use and how many, select a tiger and go to the Environment tab.
I didn't even listen to all that because I was busy watching the tiger rub against the little rubbing post thing.
Like the wattle bushes. You can remove them if you want. You can find all of the plants you need in the nature section, and you can use the filters to only show the types of plants you want to see. In this case, that's plants from the rainforest or temperate biomes.
I'm covering up the fact I didn't sink the shelter into the ground enough, and so it's kind of sticking out a little weird. So we're just gonna hide that by putting a bunch of ferns and stuff around it here, because why not? Look at these little bitty ferns. Those are nice. Honestly, games like Zoo Tycoon have taught me so much about plants and animals, it's ridiculous. Alright, so we got a nice little thing there covering up my earlier mistake. They're still not happy, they want more. Alrighty, we'll give you guys a lot more then. Lots of plants for you guys. We're gonna do so many plants. It'll be great. Add some more palm trees, cause why not? Oh, there we go. They were happy.
They say that good fences make good neighbors. I guess that's doubly true when one of the neighbors is a Bengal tiger. Still, those tigers look so happy.
No,
that I
they're
doubt
not
they'd
gonna let me do any more
even if you did
plants.
poke a hole in their fence. Oh, but for heaven's sake, don't test that theory.
No, I want to do more
Let's
plants.
head over to the Indian peafowls. I've been told that we need to improve their social welfare.
I wasn't done doing my plants, but I guess that's gonna have to do for now. The peafowls, oh my goodness, I love them so much.
Expand their social welfare and we can get a bit more detail. Now, they've clearly got plenty of space and they're not stressed, but it looks like their social group isn't quite right. So let's find out more. Click on the social tab at the top of their information panel to see what's wrong. Right, as you can see, the peafowls need their population to be larger. To solve this little problem, you'll need to adopt 3 more female peafowls. Well, off you pop to the animal market. Good work on those peafowls. I expect they'll be delivered soon. But sadly, it sounds like our snow leopard is a bit grumpy. Let's head over there and see what's wrong with her. Just like people, animals can suffer from stress if things aren't quite right. You know, like when you see someone put in the milk before the tea bag. In the case of these snow leopards, they're a bit stressed by their lack of privacy. You can lower their stress levels by swapping out the normal glass barriers for one-way glass. It's not a cheap option, but I think they're worth the expense, don't you? This will give the snow leopards somewhere to go when they want to get away from the prying eyes of the guests.
Oh, look how cute! I'm just gonna spend probably most of my time in this game going between each animal and watching them and be like, oh my gosh, look how cute they are.
Of course, when an animal isn't in its natural biome, it's probably going to be too hot or too cold. Unsurprisingly for the snow leopards, it's too hot. Even with the terrible British weather, you should help cool it down by adding some coolers to their habitat. But let's start by opening up the temperature heat map and having a look-see at the temperature in the leopard's habitat. As you can see, we already have one cooler in there. Let's pop some more down and get as much of the habitat as chilly as we can. Luckily for us, this habitat already has power, but you'll need to make sure of that in the future. Just so you know, if any part of a habitat is powered, then the whole habitat will be powered.
I feel you, snow leopards. I as well want some nice coolers in my exhibit, because I am melting. It is way too hot here.
You can find heat maps for all sorts of helpful things, so do be sure to explore them and make good use of them.
It's interesting how the cooling thing, like, it doesn't
It'll
happen
take a little
immediately.
while for the temperature to
It takes
adjust
it a minute.
Once you've added coolers or heaters, but now we've got the coolers in, we can address the leopards' terrain welfare. You see, what the leopards really want in here is snow and rock, so let's make that happen.
Yes, all that snow! Except the snow melts if it's not next to the cooler. That's amazing. We put some snow down here. Oh, it all melted away, like, instantly. That's crazy! Oh my goodness. So we can only do snow near the coolers, where it's gonna stay cool enough for the snow. That's so wild. Oh my goodness. Alright, we'll put some rocks where we... Look at this rainbow. What is going on? It's so beautiful.
Good understanding of how to make animals happy. So I'd like you to go and check on all the other animals in the zoo and fix up any issues with their habitats. That'll increase the average welfare of the animals across the whole zoo. And that average welfare is a very important statistic. Now, to quickly see how all your animals are doing in the zoo, you should go into zoo management and then into the animals section. As you can see, this list shows you the animals' overall welfare. So if something's amiss, then you can quickly pop over to them using the locate button. Right, I'm off for a cuppa while you make sure all the animals are well looked after.
Alright, there's a peafowl who is very unhappy. Oh, never mind, they just got happier. See who has like the lowest welfare, and we'll start off with them. The zebras! We have to go to the zebras first. The zebras! Oh my gosh! Ah, look how cute! Oh my goodness, look at these beautiful zebras! Oh, I love them! Oh, they're walking through the... Well, these two are kind of glitching between each other a little bit. But otherwise, they're very pretty. Actually, I want to see this baby. Let me see the baby. Look at the little baby. Oh my gosh, look how cute this little baby is. So adorable. It says that the zebras are not happy because they need more enrichment. Alright, so the zebras do like the small barrel feeder. Put this down somewhere. Oh, you can actually filter it by species. That's so helpful. There's a jolly ball. Of course we have to get them a jolly ball. There we go, a jolly ball for the zebras. They're much happier now. Oh, they're not happy with their terrain though. We could do a little work on their terrain. Okay, now they're a lot happier. Now there's a lot more grass going on. Let's check out how the giraffes are doing. The giraffes also want enrichment, so let's give them something. Put that down over there. We'll stick a little sprinkler just here somewhere. It's so amazing!
Not bad. Not bad at all. I think it's fair to say that you've passed the first part of your training with flying colours. There's still lots more to learn, but we'll have to head to another one of Bernie's zoos for that. If you want to grab your passport, we'll head off, shall we?
Alright, cool. We completed the campaign.
Sounds like you've got the whole zoo purring away nicely. Well, purring, grunting, screaming, booming. All the appropriate noises. I guess I was right to hire you, huh? Don't tell her I told you, but Nancy wasn't sure you'd even last the morning. So, we're happy this is working out. And Nancy owes me a foxy coffee. As strange as it seems, considering we just met, when I look at you, I feel like you're the child I never had. After the one I did have, obviously. But you see, zookeeping's not for my daughter. Don't get me wrong. Emma absolutely loves animals, but she set her sights somewhat higher. Wants to save the entire planet. I'll just settle for saving a couple of species. Oh, and maybe having a type of frog named after me.
Alright, so we're gonna stay probably on this campaign thing for now. But I do want to do the franchise mode in a different video. Check out these wolves, look how pretty they are. Oh my gosh, they're so cool. Oh, except these wolves are fighting. Uh-oh, what's going on? What are you guys fighting about? Can we, like, call a vet in on that or anything? Oh, we can! Call vet. That's awesome. Let's get them some enrichment so they'll be happier, hopefully. A ball for them to play with. Look how cool their little cave is, too. Built with terrain. Oh, that's awesome. There's a cool wolf statue, too. Look at that. Here comes the vet. Let's see what they do. Oh, are they going to take him away? There we go. So there's like a little veterinary hospital thing here. And then there is the wolf. Oh my goodness. Oh, I guess he's already fixed up already. That was really fast. Look at them all curled up asleep. They're sleeping. Look at their fur. It's amazing. Look how pretty and detailed it is. Oh my gosh, we have an anaconda? I didn't know there was an anaconda. Is it in here? Oh, there it is. It's in the corner there. Trying to get a closer look. There it is. Oh my goodness. Look at that snack. That's a big snack. The snack is happy. I just wanted to see what the snack looked like. Since we're here, I guess we'll see what the lemurs need to make them happier. Alright, here's a food enrichment, a forage box. There we go. Oh no! Another wolf is injured. Why are you all fighting? You should be happy. You have very high stuff on here. Why are you guys fighting with each other all the time? Lemurs are still not happy. Their habitat needs to be cleaned. Why is no one cleaning the lemur habitat? Look how cool this is. The glass has imperfections on it. It looks like, oh my gosh, it's cracking almost. 'Cause it's old, maybe. That's wild. Wild little details. That's awesome. Alright, who else needs taken care of? The warthog. Oh, they need more water? Are you guys not getting enough stuff? 2 animals are close to death, and that's the warthogs. Why is no one taking care of the warthogs? Alright, since I don't know what's going on here, we're gonna give you guys a little bit of water since you are really not doing good. You guys are not gonna die on me. We will have no animal deaths in this zoo. There's some water. Drink, my little warthogs, drink! Is that a baby? When did we have babies? Oh my goodness, look at these little guys. They're so cute. They need food. Come on, zookeeper, bring them some food. That's right, get in here. Give the warthogs some food. Alright, now they give them water. Give them some food, they're starving. Get some food enrichments for them as well. Alright, here we got a barrel thing for you guys. Why is there still no food? Somebody feed them. We're gonna add more enrichments, because why not? We're gonna make these guys very happy. There's so many babies. When did all these babies pop up? There's like 6 of them. Oh my gosh, they're so tiny. They're so cute. Your habitat can use some work apparently, so let's see what we can do about that. Not enough shelter space. Alright, we can give you guys a new show. That's too big. Maybe we'll build you guys a little extra shelter over here. Alright, it's not great, but I made a random little shelter thing here, kind of. Let me see if that improved their shelter at all. Ah, it did! Wow. That is amazing that the game is able to recognize that. It's like, oh, yep, you built a shelter there. The hippos need some extra work here. Need enrichment for sure. So we'll give them one of those. And one of these. Alright, now they're super happy. And I may have just accidentally crashed the game. Oops. So I guess we're gonna have to end that video there. But that's okay, because when we come back, I'll probably do the franchise mode next time in a video. Oh, here we go. Here's the crash. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was really fun, and I actually want to do some live streaming maybe of Planet Zoo as well. I'll be posting updates on that on social media like Instagram. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, everyone!